down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord.
Hey, what's going on?
Host.
This is your boy, Steve VanCauwenbergh. You tuned in to the Savvy Radio Show. You know, doing something every day, learning, growing, going to the next level, whatever the next level is. Hey, that's what it is. One of the things I'm out of town right now. I'm in Hydro, Oklahoma. That's right, Hydro, Hydro, Oklahoma. We're doing this annual trip that we do every year. They have the Hydro Free Fair, and it's pretty amazing, right? It's been going on, I think, for almost 100 years. They have these 1910, 13 rides still rolling, funnel cake, all the amenities, games that are still 50 cents to play. It's just a fun opportunity. It's a family-oriented place. And, I was just thinking a little while before I was getting on the radio here. And the reason why I'm getting on the radio, even when I'm traveling, is like, man, I really want to be committed to serving society in the real estate, investment, entrepreneur world, and just continue to encourage you, drop knowledge of my ups and downs and left and rights and learning curves and explosions. And that's what this is all about. But since I've been here, they do this Hydro Fair on Saturday. It's pretty nutty. They have this little parade and they throw candy out. My kids love it. It's really fun. And I was like, I'm going to walk to the downtown. My father-in-law doesn't live far from there. And it was interesting. I was just thinking, right? Always my mind is racing. Like, I should be doing this. I need to be writing this. I need to be producing that. I need to call this person. I need to follow up on this transaction. And, sometimes I think you just need to enjoy the moment. It's so cliche. It's easy to say, just like whatever happens is going to happen. And so, it's interesting that I normally travel with my laptop, and the last several times that I have traveled, I've never cracked that thing open. It's like a security blanket. I got to bring it with me. And then there was many years where I would bring the podcast podcast gear and never do it. And then I'm like, all right, VanCauwenbergh, you got to be committed to something, and you're going to be committed to the Savvy Radio Show. You won't blow it up big. You won't do it right, but you're going to enjoy the moment as you roll. And something I just recently learned, that's what the subject is. I think I put too much pressure on myself. I need to put a podcast out every week, or I need to do 3 times a week or 5 times a week. That's how I used to think. And then I took that 2-month off break and getting back into it hot and fresh and just dropping everything I can contribute to you. I'm going to lay it out. And I was like, man, when should I drop these? When should I record these? Try to get everything. You just have to enjoy the moment. And one of my homies said, man, you just release the podcast when you want to. Do the podcast when you want to. And I'm going to think, it's just a simple advice, like enjoying the moment, just walking down the road, not thinking about anything else. And I was just walking to downtown, and I was just listening to an audiobook and just enjoying the moment. So one thing that you could learn right now is just enjoy the moment. Enjoy the opportunity that you have, that you're alive. Enjoy the opportunity that you may have an opportunity in front of you, and enjoy the process. All right, peeps. So that was, I don't know what that was, but that was something. Here we go. We're gonna rock out right now these 4 things that I've been pushing myself, that I've just recently learned, and then I'm out of my comfort zone, and or I have tried. So it's pretty interesting. There's going to be some weirdness in here, so bear with me. This is all off the cuff, so just work with me. Number 1, Toro. If you have not heard of Toro, Turo, it is a automobile vehicle, basic car rental. Think of Uber or renting someone else's vehicle for a fee. Now, I heard about Toro maybe a couple years ago, just pushing myself in the world of technology. I need to learn more about it. I need to know about it, and I need to start using it like Uber. I mean, I was the last one on an Uber ride, like for real. Like Uber is like a regular conversation now. It's like mentioning something like a stop sign. That's Uber, right? McDonald's, that's an everyday, almost not an everyday conversation, but you just know, everyone knows on this planet what Uber is. No one knows what this Toro is. But I realized I'm going to push myself this year, every year, and I'm going to try something I've never done before. But I really got attracted to Toro because you can make money with something. And, that's just how I breathe. I need to make money in a positive way so I can give it away. And so I was like, okay, so I looked into Toro, like, what if I buy this specific vehicle? And then I'd be dabbling with it. I'll look at certain cars. I did a ton of research. And then, but I've never done this before. So I was on my way to a trip to Chattanooga, and I looked up all the car rental prices, and beknownst to me, the world has changed dramatically, and it was 2 to 3 times more than the average. Like, I could rent a rental car for like $50 to $100. Man, these cars were $200. Just a regular, Chevy Visa or whatever these little micro cars are. And I was like, whoa, there's got to be a better way. And so and I want to do it. And then I was looking at a family trip, and in Colorado, we got to rent a vehicle. And I was like, and it was mega high. And everywhere I looked around the country in certain airports, car rentals are high. And I was like, whoa, something's wrong here. So I was like, I have these 3 trips planned coming up. And I was like, I need to rent cars at these locations. And this is going to kill my groove paying triple dipple for a car rental, which is usually $50. So anyway, I decided to make a decision. That's the first thing. Decision. You need to make a decision if you're going to do well. You're going to make a decision. You're going to be an investor. That's the first thing that you need to be learning from this podcast. But, on my side, I made a decision. I'm going to try something new. I'm going to do this Toro thing, and I'm going to do it with a backup plan. If it doesn't go well, I'm going to be in Atlanta. I can figure this out. I'm going to be with my son. He needs to learn. Life is not as always as it's planned. So if they diss me on Turo, like they don't show up or how it works. Now, granted, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I go down the Toro app. I go to Atlanta. I pick up on these dates. I'm going to be there. And, might as well pick something I want or something that I want to try. So you know what I did? I picked a Tesla. Now, I don't know anything about no Tesla. But everybody talks about Tesla, how amazing. A couple of my friends have Tesla. I've been in Teslas. I've actually driven a Tesla. One of my homies has one. Let me drive one. But I've never really been attracted to a Tesla, and I never really lit one up. You know what I'm saying? Like, drop on the gas and go beep, beep. And, like, let me tell you something. It was an experience of a lifetime. Negative, positive, whatever you want to call it. But it was an experience of a lifetime. As Brian Tracy say, unbelievable. And now here's the deal. I wanted to get out of my comfort zone, and I wanted to look into this industry, and I wanted to, so I do, everything I do is like I have several things return. Out of my comfort zone, check. I'm really into making money, check. I want to see how the process works on the other side. Someone asked me the other day, I want to open a sub sandwich shop. I'm like, absolutely, go work for Subway for 6 months, dig into it, feel what it's like. So like, I'm going to feel what it's like to be a recipient of the service, okay? So I did that, blah, blah, and I rented this Tesla. I get into the air. I land in Atlanta, and all of a sudden I'm texting this dude back and forth through the app. Yeah, my car's on parking lot J, level 2, and he sends me a picture. So I'm like, okay. Now, of course, I'm in Atlanta. Normally, I get picked up or I go somewhere else, a rental car, something. So I don't really know where I'm going. I don't even know what blue is. And so it took me about 10 or 15 minutes to find out the car. Now, so far, so good. I was a little kind of frustrated. I was kind of excited that the cat just replied to me. I'm like, hey, I'm here. Where do I go? So I get to the car. As soon as I get there, I'm like, hey, I'm at the car. Boom. Automatically, the door's unlocked. First of all, I like that already in the process. So I'm like, okay, now I'm doing it. Got my little 10-year-old son with me. We about to do it up big, boy. Because he's really, and that was one of my main driving forces here, is that, he's all into technology. He's before a millennial or whatever they're going to call this 10-year-old generation. And he loves technology. So, that's one of the main reasons why I rented this car. So I'm in this car, and it's like a giant, I'm going to tell you right now, a giant go-kart. You hit the gas, whoop, and it's fast. I was like, this is pretty fast. This is pretty fresh. I'm getting on the freeway. Whoop, in 2 seconds, it's on like Donkey Kong. I'm cruising around. I'm like, this is legit. And I can't figure out on this dashboard, how to operate this computer. Now, this dude made me watch a bunch of YouTube videos before I even got to the car. which I did once, and then I tried to watch them again, just how to start the car. You have to have a credit card to start the car. And there's a lot of nuances, how to unlock the door, how to open the door, blah, 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 blah. So I'm driving. Now I'm driving like a child, like I'm in a Mario Kart, going ballistic, whipping in and out. I'm like, this is legit. And my son's like, you gonna buy one? You gonna buy one? And I'm like, at first, I was like, I looked it up. Oh, gee. I was like, Max, I go, you can buy one of these. The Tesla for $40,000. I actually looked them up. You can buy them used on CarMax for $26,000. You can buy a Tesla for $26,000 to $40,000. I was like, I'm interested. Is it gonna make money? Now I paid for 5 days $650. Now I know that sounds kind of outrageous, and it is. It was $90 a day for the vehicle, and then all the fees and insurance and whatnot. But it was still cheaper than renting a car at $1 at the Atlanta airport. Isn't that crazy? I mean, that's just society right now. Normally, this trip would cost me about $400, $300 to rent a car. About 2 years ago, it cost me that much. But when I started going $1 and thrifty and budget, it was like $6, $7. I'm like, what? For a little micro car. So I said, if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I'm going to upgrade. I'm at that level where I need to upgrade. So I'm dipping in this Tesla. Boom, boom. I'm like, okay, put in a GPS. And it's a 2-hour drive from Atlanta to Chattanooga. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, I'm getting kind of nervous that it's like a battery is on decline. And I'm like driving, and it keeps saying, you got 60 miles left. First of all, when I got into the vehicle, it said 180 miles. Then I started riding. Now, the more you hit the gas, the less mileage you get, right? Just like anything else. And I'm like, man, this is kind of nervous. So I'm calling a homeboy. I'm like, hey, man, how does this work? Like, I don't even know how to charge this thing. That's my problem. So then I pull over 60 miles outside of Chattanooga, an hour away, and I'm trying to find chargers. And again, you gotta, you're gonna laugh because I don't know what I'm doing. First of all, it's something that I learned. You need to research before you get rolling, VanCauwenbergh. But I like to live wild and spontaneous, and sometimes. So I pull over. My poor son's looking at me. I'm sweating bullets. Hey, man, Chattanooga is farther than the gas we have, and I can't find. And you know what it was? I was looking on this stupid app on the Tesla on the computer, and I could not find the charging. There was one little button that I could not find. Now, I found this button later, and I can tell you about that. This is really a drawn-out, no-need story, but I'm going to break it down to you. So anyway, I'm driving, and I call my friend. Thomas just yells at me, you're dumb. There's a charging unit at Whole Foods. I'm like, okay. So, and I look it up. I can barely get to Chattanooga if I drive like a human being, like grandma, and I can get there with 20 miles left is what I anticipated. Sure enough, I'm like crapping my pants. Like now I'm down to 20 miles. I'm like just outside of Chattanooga somehow, like 10 miles in, and I'm just getting nervous. Like should I turn the AC off? My son, I don't know what in the world. He's 10 years old. He's probably thinking something's wrong with me. So I get all the way. I'm sweating bullets. It's hot. I get all the way to the Whole Foods in Chattanooga. Think I'm somebody smart. I pull in. Oh, praise the Lord. I find one slot open for charging. So right now, I'm just telling y'all, I'm on fire. I'm never going to buy this car. This is inconvenient. I got to find a charger. What if my mind's going ballistic? Like, what if they had no chargers? What if something, a power, like my mind was going ballistic. Like, and this is why you can't speak this stuff over you. Because guess what happened? Everything went wrong. Yep. I get to the Whole Foods. I go to the Blink machine. It says you got to download the app. This is a hassle. I'm like, I'm out. This is a hassle. I fill out the thing, Blink. I put my credit card in, and I do it twice. It's like, we're offline. Call this number. I'm like, what's offline mean? What if I'm desperate? What if I had to go get something that's super important to change the world, and I can't charge up my Tesla? I'm having a problem. So I call the one. Now, this is like 10 minutes. It's 100 degrees outside. I'm sweating ballistic out here. My poor son, he's like, Dad, what's wrong? What's going on? I'm like, don't worry, I got this. So I call the 1-800. I'm sorry, the system's offline. I'm like, what does that mean, man? What does offline mean? You got to go inside. I mean, go inside where? Like Whole Foods? And she just was so elusive in how this lady communicated to me. I'm like, oh, no. So I'm like, Maxwell, we got to go inside. And my poor son, he's confused, like, what's going on? So we go inside, and I knew right out the gate, this ain't going well. She's like, yes, sir. Let me go get the manager. Go get the manager? I just want to charge the Tesla up. What do we need to go get the manager for? So now I'm waiting out in the middle of Whole Foods for 10 minutes, waiting for some manager to come. I'm just trying to charge a car that I don't like anymore. This doesn't even make sense. So finally, the guy that, they have to take this poor manager off his second floor, walk him all the way down. Sir, he goes, we don't manage the charging. That's a third party thing. And the property manager runs that. And I think they're in a dispute. Your staff couldn't tell me this right out the gate. I had to wait 10 minutes for you to hop down here. I mean, like, I'm sweating. It's hot. I'm in a city I'm not real familiar with, and I can't charge a car, and I only got like 10 miles left on this thing. And so I'm calling my friend in a panic. I don't know what to do. Anyway, long story short, am I going to buy a Tesla? And no. No way. Sorry. Inconvenient. I don't understand what y'all talking about. This Tesla's off this, off that. Nope. I'm not doing it. I'm out. Kurt Gowdy. Anyway, you want to go into the long details, but I had to find a DoubleTree. I find a DoubleTree hotel, and I pull in there after I finally searched, found it on Google. And at this point in time, I did not know where a charging station is. I figured it out later after I met a Tesla dude on location, and my friend that owned a Tesla didn't answer his phone, so I was in a panic. I could not find it. I even went to my Google, and they would put up some charging things, but it was real elusive. I didn't know if they were open. I didn't know what was going on. But I did find on an app on my phone to go to the DoubleTree. I go to DoubleTree, and there's a gate there. And it says, talk to valet or the front desk. And I don't know. I can't articulate how intense this was in my world that I'm out of electricity. I got somewhere to be. It's 100 degrees outside. So I turn that car around. I pull right up into the valet. I pop out. I say, son, stay right here. I pop out, and the dude could just tell me in my face that I won't kill somebody or somebody just got shot, one or the other. And the whole time I'm just feeling, I don't know why I'm getting to this story. But the reality is the dude gave me the code. I got to charge my car, and then it took, when you plug it in, it's for a full charge was 8 hours. So my homie had to come pick me up at that DoubleTree. That's not even my hotel. My hotel was 1.5 miles away. I just learned a lot. Get out of your comfort zone. It worked. So here's the deal. Is a Tesla a good investment? I don't know. You may want to, me personally, I can't wrap my mind around it. Maybe if you have a zero life and you just want to drive back and forth to your job that's, within reason, and you charge it up every night. But it was a severe inconvenience. Now, when I finally figured this thing out, which I met somebody at the airport when I found a supercharger, someone told me there's this button you hit and it pulls up all the superchargers. Obvious, but the button was hidden. Come on, Tesla. I think you need to fix that, but that's just me. I'm ignorant on something I didn't know. I even tried to Google it up, couldn't even find it because, that's the first defense, Google. So anyway, that was number one. Learned, I pushed myself and went to Toro. You need to push yourself and do it. Now, it's not as glamorous as I thought. I was like, I pushed myself to do something I've never done before, but it really gave me hands-on experience. That is something that a property just yesterday that I was trying to buy where I said yes in my mind, but I was so thankful that I drove to that property and then it was a resounding no. Sometimes you're going to have to really touch and feel. I know I am a outsource delegator, machine execution, but sometimes you got to touch and feel and fail to really appreciate or to know exactly what you want. Society, life, investments, whatever. Number two, this is off the chain, pushhealth.com. And that's P-U-S-H, Push Health. Just Google up pushhealth.com. I don't know if there's one H, but this is off the chain. I had a relative that needed a prescription, not feeling well, borderline, maybe COVID symptoms, okay? I don't know, but it was a Sunday, and they needed a Z-Pack, ASAP Ricky. Now, what are you going to do on a Sunday? Can't get a hold of the clinic. All the hospitals are closed. What do? You Google it up, need a prescription. You know exactly what you need, and that's exactly what I did. This is off the chizzy, my nizzies, ladies and genties. This is how you do it. You push yourself, you Google it up, and I went to one website, and it didn't work. I went to another website, which I found, Push Health. I filled out the form. It was $65 and we'll get your prescription. $65, but in my mind, it depends on where you're at with your zeros. $65, I was willing to lose. I was willing to take a risk. And so I did. I filled it out, even put my PayPal in there, and I started the process. So I put my name in. They're like, what's your symptoms? I'm not feeling good, coughing. I would like to have a prescription for a Z-Pack. Now, I have done something similar to this before through my hospital, which I did a video meeting, but this was off the chain. Within 2 hours later, they put me in contact with a doctor. What? Yep. Within 2 hours, someone was messaging me through this app. Actually, it was a website. I didn't even download no app. And what's your symptoms? How long you've had it? What's going on? This is a quick, down and dirty questions. This gal, she said, okay, I'm going to send you a prescription. Boom. Send the prescription. Then all of a sudden, PayPal texts me and said, hey, you just gave $65 to this website. Boom. 30 minutes or an hour later, I can't remember, Walmart texts me, your prescription is ready. Come pick it up. Now, check this out. $65 for this service. I don't even know. This is amazing. They may have gotten $15 and the doctor got $50 for 5 minutes worth of work. Hey, it was worth it. And then the prescription was $26. The whole thing was under $100. Do you know how much it costs for me to go to the doctor right now? Just to call a doctor, I need to do a site visit, a doctor visit, $120. That's what it cost me. Private pay, $120. This whole process, didn't even have to leave my couch, less than $100. Come on. This is the future. Push yourself. Pushhealth.com. I don't get paid. I'm just telling you, this is just experiences that I'm going through. This is what I want you to do. Every week, push yourself. Do something that you would never do. Go to a different grocery store. You might find a different product or food or something to make your life easier. Number 3, you got to push yourself to hire somebody. I'm telling you. Now, this is a process which I've hired people in my lifetime. I have had some success and I have a lot of failure. Did you hear what I said? I said some success and a lot of failure. And I don't even know what success is anymore when you hire somebody, because people move on, people quit, people get mad, because I think it's my fault because I'm not communicating properly. But here's the deal. I push myself to hire somebody else to get more done, to get me more organized, and I'm growing in this process. I've learned what exactly do I want, VanCauwenbergh? What do you want out of this project? What do you want out of this transaction? What do you want out of this relationship? I think this is what I've learned lately, ladies and gents. What do you want, and write it down, okay? One goal that I have is I would like a vacation home, and it's not vacation home, Airbnb, short-term rental, not personally for me, vacation, but I would like to have certain vacation homes, rentals in certain markets around the country, and push myself and hire a part-time person to run those. I have done this before. I've had them out of Florida. I've had them out of state. La-da-da-da-da. I'm not telling you so that you think you like me or I'm somebody special. I just think it's possible, and whatever's possible, I think you should do it, and you should do it big if you're going to do it. And I realized I'm not a fan of Airbnb, but I found a person in my world that I hire that is a fan of Airbnb and enjoys communicating with people. And I thought to myself, okay, if you love this, then I'm going to buy these and you're going to manage them, and it's going to be a win-win. So let's do it. Now, you got to find these things. And so what I figured out is I was like, okay, I want to buy in this area. Let's say Angel Fire is an area that I'm looking at in New Mexico. All right, I've been there. I know about the area. I've had some friends that own some condos there. Hey, I want to hang out with my friends. I want to own a condo there. Find me a condo. And so this girl, she sends me a list of condos ranging from blank 80,000 to 200,000. And the comment that she said to me that she texted me that really made a difference in my life. She goes, "That's a lot of money." And I thought to myself, interesting. See, it's the words that you say. That's a lot of money. For who? What's the number? She just assumed all of them. She probably assumed that she can't afford it, but you can afford it. It's not about the number. It's about the asset. Does it make money? So, of course, I'm a born teacher, so I break it down. I'm going to teach you what investments are, that it doesn't matter if it costs $500,000. If the thing brings in $800,000 a year, is it a deal? If it brings in $600,000, it doesn't. If it makes money. And see, we look at the immediate, it's a lot of money. For who? But anything is possible. I have friends that have money that would love to invest with me, and we can put 20% down, and we can buy a $100,000 condo, put $20,000 down, or I can borrow $20,000 from a friend and pay him back, whatever the case may be. It's not a lot of money. You think it's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money. You got to get out of your comfort zone. What hit me, what I learned is that it's a lot of money to somebody else, but it's not a lot of money to me because I'm not driven by that. I'm not driven by fear. I am a professional investor. That's what you need to tell yourself. You are a professional. If you're just got part-time doing, you got a couple of rentals and, you got 10, 20, whatever you tell yourself is what you're going to be. So if you're just doing this casually, you're a hobbyist. But if you want to do this for real, then you are a professional. And I don't think like what hobbyists think. It's interesting. I saw another investor get mad that someone else made money. You get excited. Professionals cheer on other professionals. Professionals don't believe in competition. It's successful. And I wrote on Facebook the other day, professionals have coaches, amateurs do not. Find out who you are and what are you telling yourself. If you follow me on Facebook right now, man, I'm blowing it up on there. Like, stop talking negative to yourself. And that's not that message wasn't for me. I overheard someone saying some boo-boo stuff about stuff that's not true. Stop speaking negative over yourself and start living at the moment. All right. And it's really hard because I'm going through this massive transition in my life. I'm even trying to confess this to my wife. I'm like, right now, Shay, I'm just enjoying today. I normally got like 1,000 things on my mind, and I do. I got bombs blowing off everywhere. But in my mind, I'm enjoying the moment. Like, yeah, I know Monday I got drama. I know next week I got drama. Whatever. Every day I got drama. It's like the one thing I try to teach people as entrepreneur, if you really want to be an entrepreneur, never expect a paycheck. Like, never expect it. I mean, I've been broke so long in my entire life that when money comes my way, it doesn't change me. It doesn't move me. It doesn't make me feel good or bad. It's just this is what I do. It's like if you get excited or get upset about a closing that doesn't go down, then that's what happens. You can't get I don't get excited until I get the paycheck. A deal doesn't it's not a deal until it closes. So many deals blow up at the last minute. You know that, real estate investor. So I'm a professional. And I actually learned this recently in a different form from my partner. Every time I'd make a sale in our business, I'm like, we made a sale. And she would just smash me. No, we did it until you get the money. But they said yes over the phone. But that don't matter. You didn't get the sale until you got the money. Celebrate when you get the sale. Celebrate when you do it. But don't speak anything negative over yourself. I love to train my thought there. All right. So it's a lot of money. Expand your mind. If you start thinking you can't afford it, then you're not thinking right. How can you afford it? What asset can buy to pay for that? And just like a basic, you should go back to Rich Dad Poor Dad. Go back to the old school. Go back to the original. Go reread that book. He's like, I wanted a Porsche, so I went and bought an asset, a condo that paid cash flow, $200 a month that paid for your Porsche. I don't care if you want to buy a Porsche. Goody, goody gumdrop for you. You want a Tesla? Goody, goody gumdrop for you. For me, I don't want anything. I'm like, I have my goals are I want to give big. Like, how can I give bigger? How can I make more businesses that can serve more people and be a benefit for everyone? I don't know. Something's wrong with me, ladies and gents. And my final thing, number 4. And I'm just going to be real with you. I know this is the longest drawn out podcast on the planet. And, not every podcast is 100. All right. Not every podcast I write is the best. Sometimes there's a lot of them that I throw away that I just don't think it's going to be an influence in your life. And if there is a subject that you want to hear, you let me know. I would appreciate it. I do enjoy people that reach out to me in general. If you got my cell phone number, if you don't, I'll give it to you. it's interesting that, what people go through, what struggles people go through. Sometimes I learned just recently, you just need to be I just need to give you permission. But this is something that I just learned, and I hope and pray that this will help you and inspire you. And this is why I left it for number 4. But I deal with depression. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't show it. On Facebook, everything looks all glamorous. But I don't know why I struggle with this. I'm never going to take any kind of medication because I don't believe in it. And some people may need a medication. I have a homeboy that does, and I think it's great and it works for him because I'm not anti it, but it's just for me. I think I can figure this out. And honestly, I don't know if I can because I've been dealing with it. And it's not vicious depression where I'm like immobilized and depression is a serious word. And so I don't want to desensitize it if you struggle with this. But every so often I struggle, and I think it's just the entrepreneur, high achiever that sets a goal. You get to this goal, and then you just get depressed. I deal with this all the time. When I got to 50 units, when I got to 20 units, when I got to 100 units, and then when I got to these apartments, and I hit all these goals, and I hit these number marks, I just get kind of bummed, depressed, and then I try to find myself trying to set more goals, and I think that's great. And then you're always striving. I think but then, like, when your monetary goals are all fulfilled, what do you do now? I'm like, philanthropy? I'm just trying to figure it out. And then I'm trying to grow my network to people that would grow and push with me. And so then I realized I saw one way to get out of depression. And actually, there's a podcast. If you want to type in depression in my search bar, you can probably find, I've talked about this quite often, I believe. But just recently, I was kind of bummed. And, I got my goals written down, and I'm working towards my goals, and it looks glamorous, but I'm just not feeling 100. Some people turn to a narcotic. Some people turn to alcohol. I don't want to turn to anything. I want to figure out how to get this locked down. I'm not joking. It's like I see my son struggle with certain things. I can help him understand so we can control. And what I figured out the other day, this is going to be so simple, ladies and gents, but I just made an appointment with somebody else. It's that simple. I used to just call people and encourage them, and I would get out of someone that's in a worse position than you help that person. It usually uplifts your spirits, right? And I mean, it's pretty basic. There's always somebody in a worse position than you are. Man, I'm thankful that I got AC right now. I'm thankful I got meals right now, right? I'm thankful that I got an older truck that's rolling deep. But what I realized, accountability has been a big struggle because I notice I get more done when I'm accountable. But what I realized, one more little nuance, make an appointment with someone else so you can be accountable. And then that's something that you can strive for. And sorry for all the voice, is I overheard through this like kind of article about dopamine, where, you work out and you think you get dopamine while you're working out. And, that's why I work out. I put that on Facebook the other day. Exercise is my medication. There you go. But what I figured out is that dopamine is from anticipation. Oh, I'm dropping it like it's hot. Now, I can't take credit for this. I don't know what book this came from, and I'm going to find it out for you. One day it's going to come to me. But here's the deal. Endorphins will fire when you anticipate something. Something's going to happen. Now, there is medical science behind what I just said. I don't know what book I found this in. Maybe you can find it out. We assume that dopamine just happens after or during our workout, and that may be true. But it's also could be based on the anticipation of working out or the anticipation. And I randomly came across this, and what I'm saying, hopefully this has helped you. But when I made that appointment, the anticipation, the endorphins started flowing, and the depression started alleviating. Come on. Did that help you? Did that struck a chord? If it did, let your boy know. I would love to know, because it's healing me, ladies and gents. And if you're struggling, you're alone, and you struggle with depression or whatever it is, you just reach out to me, and I will help you the very best I can. I definitely will respond to you. Other than that, through all that process, when you got your endorphins flying, go out there and go buy assets. If you want to find out more about me, go to savvyinvestors.com. SAVVYINVESTOR.com. Savvy Investors, Beep, beep.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at SavvyRadioShow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook and always be buying assets.